former HR head of YES Bank and the co-founder of Talentworks LLP, Mr. Sangram Pradhan.
So, HR is not just about people, this is about workforce compliance, workforce strategy.
The way you describe that ecosystem makes the scale and sensitivity of your work incredibly clear. So, thank you for that.
I would not say that HR professionals are not disciplined, but when you come from risk management to HR and you be an HR leader.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of FaceTime with Leaders powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host Charu Mehra, and today we are opening the doors to a side of banking most people never get to see up close. We often talk about balance sheets, digital transformation, and customer experience. But behind all that sits something even more powerful: workflows, compliance, and strategy, and the systems that hold institutions together. Our guest today is someone who has spent decades working that intersection. Mr. Pradhan is the former HR head of YES Bank and the co-founder of Talentworks LLP. Over a career spanning around 25 years, he has built an extraordinary blend of expertise across human resources, people risk, analytics, fraud control, governance, operational excellence, and DEI, etc. At Yes Bank, he led large-scale HR transformation, strengthened people governance during complex institutional transitions, and helped design systems that balance compliance, culture, and technology at scale. Today, through TalentWorks LLP, he continues to shape conversations around future-ready workforces, leadership development, and responsible governance. Along the way, he has also earned an impressive set of credentials including SHRM SCP, CAIIB HRM, CHRD, Certified Fraud Examiner, CFAP, Six Sigma Black Belt, and even an honorary doctorate, reflecting his deep commitment to both practice and scholarship. He is also executive program alumni of IIM Calcutta. Mr. Pradhan, it's such an honor to have you on FaceTime with Leaders. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today, sir?
Thank you, Charu, for inviting for this session today. It's my pleasure to be part of this session. It is a fantastic day today, and I'm doing very fantastically well. And it's a great day today. My professional journey of 25 years has been very interesting and enriching, and as usual, is full of learning. Thank
Wonderful,
you
sir.
again for inviting for this session.
Wonderful. Same. I'm so looking forward to this session. So let's just start right with it. Mr. Pradhan, every leader has that one turning point, a moment where everything starts to make sense, where a career stops being a job and becomes a calling. You spent almost 25 years moving across HR, people risk, fraud control, analytics, and governance. A journey very few leaders experience so deeply. So, take us back to the beginning. What sparked that journey for you? Not the role or designation, but the moment, the experience.
So I started my career in Magma Leasing Limited post my master's in financial control in the year 2001. I continued for a very brief stint in Magma to pursue my entrepreneurial aspirations. And those 5 years of entrepreneurship were full of success and failures and gave me a lot of learnings in my life. Post which my professional journey has been always been very accidental interventions. So be it be fraud risk management professional for 11 years, or be it be HR professional in a leadership role for 14 years. It's
Wow.
been accidental interventions which has brought me into these areas.
Wonderful. That was so powerful, sir. The way you connect those early crossroads to the leader you are today, it really gives us into the window into your decision making lens. It really feels like a career story, and not like a career story, but more like a personal evolution. So, thank you for sharing your journey with us.
Just to add to that, I worked for a bank for almost 14 years, which has seen higher growth, decline, and then rebuild. So those 14 years have been very enriching, insightful, and full of experiences which you can't learn without any practical involvement.
Wonderful. And I do feel that all these challenges and the successes and the failures added on to your journey as milestones that you achieved. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Inside the people engine, culture, risk, and the future of work. Mr. Pradhan, you've had overseen some of the most critical pillars of HR in a bank: employee relations, compliance, DEI, payroll, technology, off-role staffing, governance, even HR risk for group companies. So let me ask you this. When you look at this entire ecosystem, what do you believe is the real engine that keeps HR strong, stable, and future ready? What has to work in sync for a bank's people framework to truly succeed?
HR cuts across the entire organization. It's not a function which it operates in an isolated manner. It plays strategic partnership role within the organization. I have actually started working in HR as a one member team and worked in various functions in HR. And till lastly, when I was involved in my last organization, I had about 100-member team. So HR is not just about people. This is about workforce compliance, workforce strategy, and this needs a complete collaboration with various businesses, functions to make your organization success.
Wonderful. And the way you describe that ecosystem makes the scale and sensitivity of your work incredibly clear. So thank you for that. It's a rare look into how these different pillars actually breathe together inside a bank. All right, moving on to question two. You've led some of the fastest HR technology transformations in the industry, implemented an HRMS under 3 months, predictive analytics, and automation across workflows. These shifts can dramatically change how employees experience HR. What was that one moment in this digital journey where things genuinely tested you and your team? And how did you ensure technology became something people embraced rather than feared?
Thank you. My first interaction or first challenging assignment in HR was revamping the HR shared services function and making it more digital rather than in physical form. So the journey started about a decade ago when we revamped that complete function to make it digital.
Right.
Then the journey started about 4 years back when we thought of taking up a new HRMS and we implemented that HRMS within 3 months straight time. Mind you, that time pandemic was at its peak. Implementing the HRMS when pandemic is peak and making sure that people adapt to the change management was definitely a challenging time that point in time.
I'm
But
sure.
of course, with nowadays people are so adaptive to applications like Amazon, Swiggy, etc. It always when you get in a HRMS, which is easier to understand and the interface is it helps you understand the interface. It doesn't make a lot of difficulty for the people to adapt the change. But I would say implementing an HRMS during pandemic within 3 months time when people are away, people are struggling with life. There are many more important things in life to deal with. I think that's where the one challenge came.
I'm
But of
sure.
course, subsequently it paid off. The pandemic went away. We stabilized the HRMS, and I believe now currently the HRMS is doing the best at this moment to the organization which I last worked with.
Wow, thank you so much for that. It was so wonderfully articulated, Mr. Pradhan. Hearing about the challenges that you went through during that time and then the eventual alignment paints a complete picture and a very human picture of transformation. Those were difficult times, and achieving a getting a win at that time really makes a lot of difference. Congratulations and kudos on that, and thank you for
Thank you.
sharing that with us. Moving on to the next question, Mr. Pradhan. Your career has very uncommon dimension for an HR leader. You worked in fraud control, forensic accounting, analytics, and people risk long before stepping into senior HR leadership. Very few leaders carry that dual lens. How has that background influenced the way you approach HR today? Does it change the way you read culture, behavior patterns, or early warning signals inside an organization?
Yeah, I would not say that HR professionals are not disciplined, but when you come from risk management to HR and you be an HR leader and you be HR leader as in a homegrown HR leader,
Right,
not that you become a leader just like that, you have grown within the organization as an HR leader. The experience of risk management helps you making decisions with a lot of prudence and discipline, right?
right,
And when you come from risk management and you worked with banking business, the experience of working in the business also helps in making a lot of practical HR decisions.
right,
I believe my background in risk management of more than a decade and in HR leadership and roles and in ethical and the leadership roles which I actually started with within individual contributor and grown up to a senior leadership role that says that risk management has some say in what you do in HR.
absolutely, absolutely. And you've shown how a different professional background can materially change the way HR protects and advances an organization. You've got a very different lens to look through because of the previous experience that you had. And I'm sure that made a lot of difference in the way you lead now. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Most welcome.
Mr. Pradhan, the BFSI sector has witnessed several high profile scams and failures over the years, cases that exposed gaps in governance, culture, and people oversight. Without going into specific names, I'd love to hear your perspective. What do these large scale scams tell us about deeper issues in the organization? And what should leaders be doing differently to prevent such failures from taking root in the first place?
So, Charu, thank you for asking these questions. I, of course, will not name people. I call it a silver theory. Why I call it a silver theory? The acronym for silver is AG in periodic table in
Mhm.
chemistry.
Yes.
So, when there is arrogance and when there is greed,
Wow.
that leads to scams and that leads to failure of organization. That is what one area the leaders should avoid.
Right.
The what leaders should adopt actually the senior leaders to make organization success. Again, the AG stands for being to be appreciative to people and demonstrate a lot of gratitude towards people.
Wow.
And that's how where the silver theory works for the organization. So that's my theory of how a senior leadership team should work.
Wow, that was beautiful. I appreciate the candor, Mr. Pradhan. The way you described makes the mechanics of failure painfully clear, and it's useful reminder that small tolerances can become structural risks. So thank you for giving your inputs on this. And I'm not going to look at silver the same now. This is a very good thing that you taught us, and I'm taking this from this conversation. So thank you for that.
Most welcome.
Okay. So you've been associated with Directors Institute. What drew you to the boardroom journey? And how has this experience changed the way you think about leadership and governance at a strategic level?
I am a qualified independent director. I am also a member of Institute of Directors. And being part of Directors Institute is a natural progression and nothing different than that. I thought after working for 25 years in BFSI, people and my understanding about people's strategy and governance risk, governance and compliance definitely is going to help businesses to succeed.
Right.
So that provoked me that I should look at opportunity where I can contribute at a board level. I initiated this entire process.
Wonderful, sir. And I was about to say the same thing, that because the kind of extensive and the experience that you have in different departments, I think that this is a natural next step for you. The boardroom is the natural next step for you. Thank you for telling us that. And it's really inspiring that after having, as I said, such great experience, you're still looking forward to learning new things. And the way you talked about the shift from operational problem solving to board level stewardship gives such a clear window into how leadership deepens over time. So, thank you for that, and I wish you all the very best for your future endeavors.
Thank you, Charu. Thank you for your time. And thanks a lot again for inviting for this session today.
Wonderful, Mr. Pradhan. Thank you so much. This has been an outstanding conversation. What really stayed with me today is the clarity and honesty with which you packed the world behind HR, governance, and people risk. Thank you for sharing your experiences, your wisdom, and your reflections with us.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Absolutely. So it's been a privilege having you on FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. To everyone listening, I hope today's episode gave you not just insights, but also a sense of direction. Because the truth is, the future of leadership will belong to those who combine competence with conscience and innovation with integrity. I'm Charu Mehra, and until next time, stay curious, stay committed, and above all, lead with intention and integrity. Thank you.